March 2024, Capcom released the long-awaited sequel, Dragon's Dogma 2. Seems like written in law that RPGs must start in a prison. So Dragon's Dogma 2 started off with a demo that you could create a character and you could then use that when the game started. And Dragon's Dogma 2 is definitely, I would say, in the top 5 of all-time great character creators. There's some great options when it comes to creating your character. So after the short little introduction area, you're then released into the main world where your quest begins and the learning starts. Like most RPGs, you're introduced into the combat system, like an intro how-to. And then of course you get to create a pawn, which is going to be your main helper in the game, and also can be used by other players who can use it as one of their party members in their game too. So Capcom has a business model where they will squeeze as many pennies out of you as they can. If you've ever owned a Street Fighter, you'll know that fighters are behind a paywall, and this has time savers for you to purchase. And as the game only has one save slot, I did imagine that they were going to then implement a paid extra slot, but actually they didn't.
Is everyone all right?
Yeah.
More marks of the dragon's fury. Its rampage must have weakened the earth here.
Is that a fact? Okay. Running Simulator 101. The first annoying thing is,
I have a knack for gathering items and am ever on the hunt for new finds. I'll gladly try out any useful mechanisms I espy.
try to avoid other players' pawns on the road because they will stop and harass you to join.
Ah, I'll take that. We might find a use for
So
it.
very early on, the game introduces you to your first ever giant beast. Hope that wasn't my character breaking it. And this is Dragon Dogma's niche, where it's different from other games. The ability to grapple on to your giant opponent is very satisfying, especially when you come to take it down and it's your blow that does it. And the array of big beasts is also satisfying. Instant nostalgia back watching Jason and the Argonauts at about 10 years old. So depending on the class that you choose, combat is satisfying. You'll not feel overpowered at the beginning, but as soon as you start to upgrade your weapons as you go, and you unlock new skills from your tree from each class, the feeling of being underpowered disappears. However, there are only casual and normal mode, there is no hard mode.
I am attentive and loyal, and prefer to remain by your side. In battle, I shall follow your lead, and if ever you've need of an ear to listen.
Obviously your pawn selection may go down to preferences. I think I just hired Khaleesi. And sometimes in the world, we are tackling one beast, and then another one shows up. As these are randomly generated, you just never know what combat situation you could face around the corner. So as you're free to go wherever you want, there is a border gate which opens up a whole new section of the map to the south, and once you get beyond there, creatures are a lot harder, and I wouldn't recommend going there until you at least have leveled up or bought the best weapons pre-gate. So most towns have a vendor, and you also find them on the roads. The ones in towns you can generally upgrade your weapons and armor. So this footage is me playing again after a year. I uninstalled it mainly because of the technical difficulties, especially the crashing and random crashing on Xbox Series X. Sadly, a year of maybe patches, I don't know whether there was, crashes are still there, still random crashes, although not as often, but still noticeable. Broken and instability is the cancer of gaming. The game has some random finding objects and also has a little bit of parkour puzzles, but there aren't many of these moments, but when you do get one, they are not tedious, they are rewarding. When I say rewarding, I mean the fact that you actually did it. So what's next for Dragon Dogma 2? The studio haven't even released a proper roadmap and generally have been quiet on that front. However, a group of gamers got together and have not petitioned but wrote an open letter to Capcom and posted it publicly, asking very politely, please give us some DLC. And as there's almost 3,000 followers of that, let's hope Capcom listen. As the addition of a few more features, this game could become a cult classic, because good combat only gets you so far. Playing a running simulator kind of puts you off exploration.
Well now, I'm a lucky man. Thought I was waiting here for naught. But when someone finally does come along, 'tis you.
We meet again.
I've always wanted a real fight with you. One on one. Here's my chance.
I should warn you, I'm more powerful.
You're not holding back on me, are you, Son of Risen?
Tis Sir Ragnar, Master. I've not heard a whisper of houses contemplating the cave, but there he stands. He seems to desire a bout. You ought to fight him alone. We shall await you here.
Oh, that was lucky. So, a year on, still some bugs, and no DLC. It is a satisfying RPG, although the main story quest can be completed quickly. There are no mounts, and the fast travel system is expensive. And as there's only one save slot, the design for that was because of New Game Plus. This is the end game. Once you completed it, you can play through again with your character and all its stats. So overall, it's a decent RPG, but lacks longevity.